How's it going, everybody? It is time to talk about top 5 manga of 2015. Now, if you haven't seen my top 10 anime, it's in the description. Uh, 2015 was a great time for anime, but it was also a very good time for manga. So, why am I doing top 5 and not top 10? Well, even though I have read more than 10 manga this year, it was very, very hard to nail it down. Whereas in anime, it was a little bit more clear. So I could make a top five. That I could come to terms with, but a top 10 was impossible for me. So let's not waste too much time. I'm just going to repeat what I said once in the anime video, and that's that it's going off of my enjoyment and objectivity. So what I think was better and what I enjoyed more. So number five, Haikyuu. Oh yeah, already sports manga made it into a top five manga this year. Wow. Besides Kuroko no Basket, which would have, but Haikyuu, great manga. I picked it up this year, and I've been uh, amazed at how good it is. It's volleyball. It's fucking volleyball. I don't give a shit about volleyball, and yet there it is. Um, it's so good. And the last chapter that came up in 2015 solidified that fifth spot. It was great. It was fucking awesome. Uh, 2015 focused on two matches. I'm not gonna say what they are, but those two matches, uh, for the most part, were just brilliant, brilliantly done by um, Haikyuu author. I forget his name. But yeah, okay. Moving on. Number four. There's a tie. I can't do it. Number four and number three. There's a fucking tie. I cannot pick between them. The first one is One Piece. I'm going to go with the more obvious one. And the other one is Magi, the Magical Labyrinth. Yes, folks, One Piece and Magi tied for me this year. Why, you may ask? Well, let's talk about One Piece. One Piece had its downs this year. Well, last year, it's 2016 now. In 2015, it had its downs, but it also had its very big ups. Magi was a little bit more consistent, didn't have quite as many ups, but it also didn't have quite as many downs. It was a little bit more consistent. The downs weren't as bad and the ups weren't as good. But I felt I could not pick between the two. It was very, very hard to pick. One Piece had a good showing at the end, um, and Magi just continued to impress from a certain point on. Uh, so while I would say Magi was more consistent, One Piece had the better ups, which sort of tied them. I can't pick. If you're like, yeah, that's a cop out, you have to pick. I can't. I tried. I can't do it. Um, so, where we are in Magi is a great spot right now. It's really hype. It's all building up towards this climax, which is going to be awesome. I know it. I have very big faith in Shinobu Otaka. Also, Sinbad no Bouken, Adventures of Sinbad, is also included here. It is a spin-off manga, but it counts to me. It's part of this series, and it delivered. Sinbad no Bouken is awesome. If you were reading the main series and you're not reading Sinbad no Bouken, get on it. It is awesome. Uh, it's Sinbad after all. Meanwhile, One Piece, where we are, is pretty good. It's building up to the year of Sanji. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, just to recap, number five is Haikyuu. Number four and three tied One Piece and Magi. Number two, Toriko. Yes, Last year, Toriko is number one. Not this year, but Toriko. Let's talk about Toriko. Toriko in the beginning of 2015, up until about midway, was doing fan-fucking-tastic. It was on the fast track of being number one easily. However, the second half, we've had some stumbles. We've had some. I'm not saying that the second half of the year hasn't been good for Toriko because it has, but there's also been stumbles. The pacing is sort of disjointed. Some of the storytelling is also disjointed as well, and quite frankly, it's been very unpalatable for a lot of us. It may turn out better in 2016, but this is not 2016. Well, it is now, but we're talking about 2015 here. And so, for that reason, Toriko is number two. Now, granted, we've had some epic shit in Toriko. The most epic stuff that happened this year was in Toriko, in my opinion. Um, Aside from a few things in One Piece, one or two, give or take. But majority of the epic shit was in Toriko this year, last year. Fuck it. All right, we're in 2015 again. All right, this year. I'm traveling back in time. All right. Um, and so there have been just fantastic chapters ever, fantastic chapters. There's also been some very, very chapters. And the last chapter that appeared in 2015 was like, wow, whoa. Um, Brought it close. I'm like, do I have to name it number one? I can't, because number two being Toriko. So I thought to myself this year, was there anything that could beat Toriko? There was one. There was one thing that could beat Toriko. It was hard. It was very, very fucking hard. And I can't believe I'm saying it, that it's better, that it did the best this year. I cannot believe that I'm telling you this, but it happened. Yes, folks. Shokugeki no fucking Soma. Let that sink in for just a second. A cooking manga took the number one spot this year. The best. The best. Why? Let me explain. I fucking love Shokugeki no Soma. I've been a fan for over 2 years now. Okay? I've been following this for a while. Having its own anime was great. I was excited. It turned out great. But let's talk about this manga. Because the straight fire that was dropped all the way throughout the year was brilliant. Just to put in perspective, the start of the year was around chapter 104. Now, for those of you who are Shokugeki no Soma fans, you know what chapter 104 was. Chapter 103, 104, those chapters, that was the start of the year. Okay? We had that whole period, you know what period I'm talking about, afterwards. I'm trying not to spoil anything for anime only watchers or people who are not yet into the manga, which was great. And then we had the next thing, which you know what that is, which was brilliant. And where we're at now is like, what the fuck? And again, the last couple chapters solidified it. It solidified it as number one. While its ups were not as high as Toriko, like Magi and One Piece. However, unlike those two, Shokugeki no Soma, while it while Magi had a lot of even stuff where it was pretty good and then it was just okay and pretty good and okay and then really good and then okay. With Shokugeki no Soma, it was always up here. It was always good, 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 great, great, good, good. There was no bad chapter this year of Shokugeki no Soma. No bad chapters. They were all good chapters. maybe one or two okay chapters out of like what 50 chapters. There were like one or two okay ones. Nothing below okay. The rest of them were at least good, and some were fantastic chapters. And so, for that reason, for consistency reasons, the art style just continued to improve. Somehow, Shunseki keeps improving his art style. I blow smoke up his ass every week that I reviewed the chapters for Shokugeki no Soma. I always blew smoke up his ass, and I'm gonna do it again. he, let's talk about Yukihira fucking Soma, the main character, who has taken great lengths to grow as a character and as a main character. It's it's brilliant. Oh, all the main characters this year. Again, we're back in 2015 temporarily. Of all the main characters this year, we talk about Ichigo, uh, Sarada, maybe if you want to count her as Naruto Gaiden's main character, um, Luffy, Natsu, um, Toriko, uh, Alibaba Saluja or Aladdin. You want to talk about, you know, Hinata or Kageyama from Haikyuu. Any of those main characters. Of all of them, the one that struck me the best was Yukihira Soma, and that is a huge, huge thing. Yukihira Soma as a friggin' protagonist is so good. He's so refreshing, and he grows. He doesn't just stay. He doesn't stay. He's not just like somebody that just like Natsu who just one shots everybody or whatever. He grows as a character. And this is a cooking manga. That's what gets me. Is like I like cooking, but not more than like the battle shonen stuff. But Sukada Yuto, these two guys right here, Yuto and Shunseki, they outdid the battle shonens at their own fucking game for the most part. It's mind blowing. It is mind fucking blowing. This year, between anime and manga, as far as franchises go, this series took the cake. Shokugeki no Soma was the Japanese animated cartoon slash comic book literary franchise of the year, in my opinion. So, with that being said, if you have not started on this, get on it. Watch the anime first. See it in all see JC Staff in all its glory, and then read this manga. It will stun you how good it is for a cooking manga. Um, I don't know what else there could be to say. Just, I don't know. Just look at this shit. Look at this fucking art. Look at that shit. That was Shunseki in his early years. Okay? His early time. He got so much better. Soma looks fucking badass now. I'm done. I'm done. I'm just gonna. I could keep blowing smoke up their ass for hours, but I have to go to work. So I'm gonna end it here. So finally got this video out. I hope you guys enjoyed. Um, once again to recap, number 5 Haikyuu, tied for 3 and 4. Um, One Piece and Magi. Number 2 Toriko. Number 1 Shokugeki no fucking Soma. The truth. Alright. So thank you guys for watching. And 2016 is gearing up to be a good year for both anime and manga. So hopefully it delivers.